Hi, everybody. I'm Todd McKim. Time for the Women's Basketball Report with Lindsay Gottlieb this week. And you go up to Seattle in the Pac-12 tournament. It's a tournament you wanted to win, but after a tremendous win over USC, and I mean, you really throttled them, one of your better wins of the year, I think. UCLA game was a little bit different. You've had some halves like the first half in that one, but maybe not quite like that first half.
Yeah, we went up there, I thought, focused, excited to try and win the Pac-12 tournament championship, and it didn't happen. We played really, really well against USC. In fact, the UCLA coaches before our game told me that they had called it like a pro performance. We looked like a pro team. I thought we were locked in. And then, unfortunately, against UCLA, they just came out and jumped on us. I credit them. They were obviously focused and hot that weekend. They gave Stanford a great run, but they came out in the zone. I think it rattled us a little bit. We missed a ton of shots, and they got out in transition, and they're really good. And what we wanted in this conference was for there to be multiple really good teams, and what I think it ends up being is that it's a great win for UCLA, a resume-building win for UCLA, and shouldn't hurt us in terms of tournament seeding very much. It's just disappointing. I wanted our players to have a chance to play for a championship, and that didn't happen, but we'll use it to help us for the next tournament.
And it also probably eliminates the opportunity to be a number one seed. Is that a big deal for this team?
Well, I think we had an opportunity, with this tournament, A, to win a championship, which was important to us, and B, to potentially get a number one seed. But, at the end of the day, I think that was something that was secondary to the tournament championship. And I think we were probably a 2 seed going in, and we remain a 2 seed. And the interesting thing is that everyone else in our kind of realm also lost. Penn State lost, Tennessee lost, Maryland lost. So I don't think we lose any ground in terms of seeding, and you never know with matchups. It could ultimately help us just in terms of our players understanding that a team like UCLA is who we would face. Maybe deep into the tournament, we need to be ready to handle any type of opponent. We need to be sharp all the time, and I think our players will respond to that.
Now you have an interesting situation that you have not been in before. The conference has not been in this situation before, in that you literally are going to have 2 weeks off before the end of one game and the beginning of another game. How do you spend these next 2 weeks fine-tuning, getting ready, because you don't even know your opponent until next week?
Right. I've actually spent some time talking to other coaches. I had a chance to visit with Tara at the tournament. She said, well, we used to do it. I said, I've never had this experience. She said, well, I have. We used to do it this way. And she kind of told me her plan. And, I've been kind of picking the brain of some other BCS coaches I know that have been doing this for a couple years now. But the main thing is the rest. I actually am more encouraged about that than I would have thought maybe a month or two ago. I do think we need the rest. Give the players a couple days off, and then we'll come back and we'll work on us. I don't think we'll do a ton of really intense contact until we know who we're playing, just because we want their bodies to heal, want to get a lot of reps, a lot of shots, a lot of up and down, get our conditioning going. And then on Selection Monday, when we find out who we're playing, we'll have a full another week of practice to be able to do kind of a regular prep week and make sure we go against our guys and we're sharp. So every BCS school is in this boat. So I'm hoping that our first round opponent, is someone that we match up well with, and then the second round opponent, if it's another BCS school, there's no difference in prep time or anything like that. So we'll make sure, whatever the circumstances are, we have to be ready. There's no other option, and so we will be.
Does it help your team understand again? They went through it last year, but the one and done concept, that you're riding high, everything's going well, and then all of a sudden, the end of the tournament, and as you look forward to the NCAA tournament, you lose a game, end of season.
I think it absolutely does. I don't think we had an issue where the players were overlooking anything or overly confident. It didn't feel that way. But I do think you can talk about one and done, and it's not the same until you feel it. And it's just, you hate for your players to have to kind of feel that way, because it's terrible to lose. But I think there will be an increased sense of urgency, no question about it. I think that they understand that no matter, what situation we're faced with, we can't overlook anything, have to take care of the task in front of us. So, again, no one planned to go up to Seattle and lose in the semifinal game, but I think we will use it to help us. I think you never know. Maybe the matchups will be more favorable, because of it. But for sure, it will make sure that there's a sense of urgency, and we want to win 6 games in a row, because that would be a national championship.
As you go and play in a Pac-12 tournament like that, and you get to see all the schools at one point or another are playing at the same venue at the same time, did it reinforce your impression of how much better this league is this year than it has been in the past? Because there were some really good games up there. There's some really impressive performances.
No question about it. Even just our bracket, that we had USC in the quarterfinals. That team is actually loaded with talent. We talk about Cassie Harberts is one of the best players in the league, and Araya Crook was an All Pac-12 honorable mention. So I think even just our own draw, knowing that there wasn't an easy game, and I think the players watching some other games, it's clearly a deeper league than it ever has been. I think all 4 ranked teams were in the semifinals, and there were just some really good performances, and that's what we want. We want to bring out the best in one another. I hope now that UCLA and Colorado and Stanford also make a deep run in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, we want to go as far, as this program has ever gone. But you look across and say there's a lot of teams from the Pac-12 that can really be problems for other teams across the country.
Well, 28 wins already. That's a school record. A chance to add to that. So good luck in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much.
All right, Lindsay Gottlieb on the Women's Basketball Report.